Hello everyone, I just want to talk about the seat cockpit of your slalom boat, alright? This is for beginners really who are new to the sport. They get a boat and they just get in it and paddle. But really that seat's been built for somebody's backside who designed the boat and maybe made a bit bigger to fit the general public paddlers or the general paddler. So we need to just pad it out and make it snug, all right? I'm not that small, so I only need one piece of padding on the side, which is a piece of this. And I've got two pieces on the back. One, first of all, laid out on the back of the seat, just to pad it out. And then this one here, glued to that one, laminated, rolled right over the back as far as it is at the front, glued on as well, to take this top sharp edge out the seat. Because the first thing is the top edge of the seat there is really sharp, all right? It's just bare fiberglass. When you're paddling in it, your bottom's doing this a bit, and when you put the back end down, you put a lot of pressure on here, so it cuts into the top of your bum before very long. So a bit of padding over there makes life really comfortable, and you put a lot of pressure on then without worrying about any pain or any cutting, all right? So nicely padded out. You can pad this out further in order to move your seat, to move yourself forward in the cockpit if you feel you sat back too far. But obviously the more you put on there, the further forward you're going to go. This foam is probably 6 to 8 mil thick, but it squeezes down to about 3 or 4. So I've not put much on there because it's squeezed in. On the sides, I just need one layer of padding. So what I use is a piece of carry mat, a sleeping mat, used to have, rolled out. I'm not 6 foot tall, so I just cut the bottom off of it. Still plenty long enough to sleep on. Use that. But over the years, it's got down to that size there. You can use other bits of foam, which I had some, to make it thicker, because kids, obviously, they're quite small. You need to pad it right the way out until it's just nice and snug on your bum, but not squashing so you turn the circulation off in your legs. But you can just laminate this up. So you just stick one on top of another until you come out. It glues together quite well. What I use is Evo Stick contact adhesive, okay? You need to be over 18 to buy this because it's solvent based. It's under the counter. You can buy it from any builders merchants, or someone like Screwfix has got it, all right? It probably comes with a spreader, but I've used it several times. I mean, it has got a shelf life, so you just buy what you're going to need for about 6 months. What you do is you spread it on the piece of foam you're going to stick on. So I'm going to stick this over the top of, I was going to stick this over the top of there. I would spread this all over, all right? For this, I'm using an old toothbrush because I find, even for doing resin repairs, an old toothbrush is as good as anything. It gives you a good excuse to have a new toothbrush, and it's cheaper than a paintbrush. It's cheap as a paintbrush. So spread that over nice and evenly. But what you need to do, you need to prep this first, because probably this seat in the mould is quite, if it's brand new, it's come out a bit greasy. If it's old, then it's not so. Just a bit of sandpaper on it, just to key it up a little bit before you glue it. Now you need to glue this area, and you need to glue the other area. So what I do is I would glue the one, put it in place, rub it around, so it marks where the glue on this one has gone on, and it leaves a bit of glue on there. And then just make sure both sides are well prepped up. Okay, and then you put it to one side. This is one I did just before, and you leave it to dry. So it's actually touch dry. You've glued both surfaces, put them together, boom, they're now stuck, all right? Really good. So, but that's because I've left it to dry. If you put it together all wet and soggy, it doesn't actually dry that well because it needs the air to send it off. So it takes ages to dry then. So the best way is to leave it for about 15 minutes, or till it depends on what temperature you're in, till it's touch dry, plonk it together, bit of pressure on it, and it's done. All right. So with that, look, two stuck together. You can layer that up, 2, 3, 4, and actually this foam follows the curve of the seat. So if you're using a foam block, you've actually got to shape it out to fit the seat, because kids are quite narrow, okay? So make sure you use the Evo stick in the red tin. The green tin is a water-based one, and it's good glue, but it doesn't work when it gets wet a lot. So it just breaks down in the water and your foam peels off in no time. So get the red tin and take your ID. If I had to take my ID to prove I was over 18, because they didn't believe me, and Bob's your uncle, you're gone. Fit the boat out as if it's a shoe. Your shoe's getting fitted to your foot. Okay, gloves, we say fit like a glove, but gloves tend to be, we just put them on and wear them, they can be a bit loose. This needs to fit like a shoe, right tight to your foot. It is your shoe. All your power, all your turning, everything you do in your boat goes through your bum, down your legs and onto the footrest to steer it, all right? So you need to be in contact with your canoe. It's like driving, I always think it's like driving a car. If you've got Wellingtons on or big boots, you can't feel what you're doing on the pedals. If you've got nice thin slippers on, you've got good contact with the car, you can feel what's happening, all right? With this, you need to feel the water through your bum and through the boat, okay? So you need to be in contact with your boat, not fall. And when you capsize, you're not going to fall out the seat. You're going to be locked in there so you can roll. Okay, bye for now.